Everybody, today I'm going to share something that I've shared about 100 times or more in person. And I thought if I captured it on video, maybe I could share it 1,000 times. And I think it's a very simple thing that actually has world-changing potential. So I'd like to introduce to you this thing I came up with in 1995 called the game. Back in 1995, I was an officer in the Marine Corps, had gone through college, had done all this stuff, and I thought there was just so much about this world that I didn't know. And I had this interesting idea that I couldn't shake. And this idea was this. I spent 4 years to get a college degree because I was told by people that I trusted and, had my interests at heart that if I stuck with it and did whatever I needed to do to get a college degree, my life would be much more enriched. I'd have much more opportunity. My world would change. And it did. And I said, well, what would happen if I took that same level of commitment, a 4-year commitment, and just went on a massive personal self-education spree? And that's what I decided to do. So to keep it very simple, it was a simple plan or game, so to speak. And this was the rules to the game. I would read one book a month, no matter what. No matter what, I would read one book a month. Only nonfiction counted towards this monthly quota. I could never read more than 3 books on the same subject. So if I was reading a book on business for two months in a two books in a row, the third book had to be on something different. I would only get my lists from 2 sources. One was from the most extraordinary, different, interesting, successful people that I came across in my life. In fact, I built a habit of walking up to different people that I thought were special and asked them, have you ever read a book that really made a difference in your life? And I would just write these books down. The other source was from books themselves. It's very hard to read a nonfiction book and not have it reference another book or another author. So that's where I got my list of books from. So, to give myself the best chance of sticking to this, the first couple of books I've read were actually on reading. How to read, reading comprehension, speed reading. I had to break it up because of the 3-book rule, read something else and come back. And I read another couple of books on just reading itself. And then I embarked on, and I was off into the races. And it was very hard that very first year. I remember some nights or some days I'd be on the last day of the month and realizing that I'm not far enough in the book to finish because life stepped in, got in the way. And what I would do is I'd go to the bookstore, get a book on tape, a book on audio, CD, put it in my car, and I'd drive around for 3 hours, 4 hours, and consume that whole book that night just to make sure I stayed on my mission of one book a month, no matter what, no excuses. So how did it pan out? Well, um, first year, I read a book a month. Second year, I read 2 books a month. Third year, I read 3 books a month. Tried to do more than that going into the fourth and years and beyond. I never could really average more than that. And I've averaged a couple of books a month ever since. So it's literally been over 500 books on a ton of different topics. But the interesting thing started to happen well into the first year of reading all these books. It didn't matter if I was reading on, you know, Einstein or Imhotep. I started to see these consistent themes and ideas, and it didn't matter if I was reading from life sciences, biology, or math, or physics, or ancient history, or because I obviously I go all over the board reading all these books. I started to see these consistent themes and ideas um, that were just in everything. Of these very consistent ideas that I still see today. And then when I started to read things that I've read in the past, other books that I've read in the past in college and throughout life, I got something different from them as well. So it did make an impact and it did make a change. So if you ask me, did that playing the game make a difference in my life? I would tell you the most extraordinary, impactful, world-changing event I've ever done in the history of my personal existence was the game. Practically, what happened? In the first 12 months of me playing the game, my income doubled. In the first 18 months of me playing that game, 18 months from the day I started that game, 18 months later, my income had tripled. And I'd not gotten an additional degree, no new certificates, and that was before I even got introduced into direct selling. So that wasn't how it happened. It's just what happened was I thought different things. Different things mattered to me. I spoke to different people about different things. I had different priorities. I made different decisions. Um, I was different. I changed, and when I changed, my world changed. So, I'm reminding myself to share that story more often these days because I'm realizing that I think anybody can have that same type of experience. I think it's a hard thing to explain, but um, it just changes how you look at this world and what you understand about yourself and your interaction with this world. And I challenge you and invite you, now that you understand this idea, this concept of the game, to play your own version, and to play all out and see if it does not, in fact, give you the power to change your world. That's the game, if you're willing to play it.